Not on yet. I'm also going to record the meeting just in case for whatever reason the Zoom crashes. All right, you are live.
Okay. I hereby call this meeting to order under the provisions of the Constitution and laws of student government. The President of the Senate shall preside over this meeting. Therefore, pursuant to my authority as President of the Senate, I shall claim the seat of presiding officer. Senators, good evening and welcome. We will now move into section 2, swearing in. Any senators who have not taken the oath, please raise your right hand. At the end, please respond with "I do." Do you hereby swear that you will faithfully serve the students of Wichita State University, act in accordance with the Constitution of the student body, fulfill all duties and responsibilities of the office in which you are about to enter, and to the best of your ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the student body of Wichita State University? Okay. We will now move into section 3, roll call.
Do you want me to go ahead and call out the people who are not here, or just read the numbers that I have?
Go ahead and call the ones that aren't here just so we can confirm your number, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
If she calls your name, if you can please do the raise hand feature so we can see you, that would be great.
Well, I can't see everyone, or
just go ahead. We'll monitor it for you.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. Clarence Albury. Senator Michael Boydo. Senator Jed Cole. Senator A.J. Jones. Senator Lizzie Kuntz. Senator Gracie Lamb. Senator Tanner Manette. Senator Adriana Owens. Senator Victoria Owens. Senator Cadence Perdue. Senator Nabil Rahim. Senator Natasha Sinivaratna. Senator Sriram Srinivasan. Senator Nicholas Swope. Senator Mary Elizabeth Thornton. And Senator Denasia Williams. Okay. With 27 present, that makes simple majority 15 and 2/3 majority 18.
Perfect. Now we will move into section 4, public forum. Public forum provides a chance for individuals to have the privilege of speaking before the Senate. This is a time for the association to listen to what the community has to say, and to that we offer our undivided respect and attention. I would like to remind everyone that although we allow the speakers the privilege to use this platform, the opinions of the speakers do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the association or the university. Would anyone like to speak in public forum tonight? Seeing none, we will move into section 5, introductions and report, starting with 5.1, message from the president, Clerk Malone.
Sorry, I'm pulling it up. The messages from the president include number 1, Executive Order 66-006, appointing Valeria Paonetto to be the Legislative and Policy Affairs Director. Number 2, Executive Order 66-007, appointing Devin Moore to be the Assistant Treasurer. Number 3, Executive Order 66-008, establishing the Association's Task Force on Ethics and Accountability, The notes on that include forming a task force to review ethics and conduct policy, as well as the membership review board, and appointing Albany Russell to serve as the chair. Number 4, Executive Order 66-009, approving the expenditure of summer funding to Lambda Pi Upsilon. Number 5, Executive Order 66-010 through Executive Order 66-014, appointing interim appointments to Treasurer, Chief of Staff, and Media Relations Director. And number 6, Executive Order 66-015, order the return of the Student Senate.
Awesome. We will now move into 5.2 under Section 5, report from the student body president, President Okiri.
Okay. Good evening, senators. I am on. Okay. So just going over, just reiterating, and so you understand those executive orders that were just made. I'm very excited to share that Devin Moore will be the assistant treasurer. After doing a phenomenal job on the Student Fees Commission during the past session and his leadership in his fraternity as president of Alpha Phi Alpha, I just think that he will be a great assistant treasurer to the treasurer position, and I have no doubt in my mind that he will do a great job. He's for the cause. Valeria Ponetto, last session, she held the fort. She held the fort down for the Safety and Student Service Committee when she became the chair, as well as her doing so many different things in the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, as well as a passion to success leader. She plans to go into social work and has a passion for policy and helping others. So again, I have no doubt in my mind that she will be great in her position. Albany Russell, in our last meeting, I expressed that she would be chairing the task force, and I'm really excited to see what that turns out to be after the recess. And the rest of the interim positions were all appointments, and I look forward to talking about those individuals as soon as it comes up. I do stand for questions.
Are there any questions at this time for President Okiri?
Yeah, just one question. Can you explain how the interim appointment works versus them being on the floor? Like, when we vote tonight, are we voting for them to be permanently in those positions or in their interim positions?
I have Advisor Fonseca take that one on.
Yeah, so because this was a special called meeting, it allows the president to make interim appointments until the Senate resumes or returns. And so because there were pieces that needed to get addressed that were tied to those positions, then she made the decision to make them interim. And then tonight they're going up for full confirmation. So last session, where there were a couple positions that were vacant, the president made interim appointments, and then they would have to stand confirmation by the full Senate if they were confirmable positions at the next scheduled meeting. And so because this is the next scheduled meeting of the Senate, then tonight you'll be confirming the those appointments. And once they're confirmed, then those executive orders will be rescinded because there's no need for an interim when they're fully confirmed. Does that answer your question, Senator? All right.
Are there any further questions at this time? Seeing none, thank you. We will move into 5.3 under Section 5, report from Student Body Vice President, me. My report is just kind of giving you guys a little insight as to what Cabinet is doing now. So we had our first Cabinet meeting today, just giving a little bit of expectations of what we plan to be doing over the summer. If you have more questions on what that looks like or what we're going to be doing, I'd encourage you to reach out to me. I'm in the GroupMe, and I can drop my email in the GroupMe so you all can send me kind of a more formal email, or if you don't want everyone to see or it to be over a DM, you can reach me through there. But that's kind of it, and we're very excited to get to work. Are there any questions for me? Perfect. Okay, we will move into 5.4, report from the advisors.
No report. Have a good break, everybody.
Same.
Awesome. We will now move into Section 6, approval of the consent agenda. With no objections, the approval of the consent agenda will be adopted as such. Are there any objections at this time? Awesome. Then we will move into section 7, consideration of new business. Starting with 7.1, the clerk will read.
Sorry, doing Zoom is so hard. Act on request to approve SB-66-004, appointing Jiawin Wang to be the position of student body treasurer.
Is the author here and wish to speak? The floor is yours.
Okay, letting me unmute for a minute there. Okay, so Jiawin Wang is a freshman majoring in biochemistry. In the last session, she sat in the Budget and Finance Committee and expressed such interest in the allocation of student fees to others. In her time in the Budget and Finance Committee, she helped allocate over $60,000 in the individual funding and organizational funds. When asked why she wanted to be the treasurer, she says that she's very passionate about the role and understanding of SJ's allocation as a whole. I yield my time to Jiawin Wang.
Hello, everybody. I'll keep this short and sweet because I know we just all want to relax after finals. Hopefully you guys don't have any more finals. As Okiri mentioned, my name is Jiawin Wang. I'd be honored to become treasurer of our student body. As a former senator in the last session, I've had the wonderful opportunity of working in the Budget and Finance Committee. This has given me the experience and insight to many of the financial processes of SGA, as well as the procedures of allocating funds and managing budgets. This has also given me the experience of working closely with our student body and educating and guiding them through these processes. I've also had previous leadership on a state executive board for a multinational organization. Through that time, I had the honor of leading and representing thousands of students from Kansas. At the local level, I was president and historian for 3 years. As treasurer, my main goals would include responsible and transparent financial management. I want students to understand where our finances and allocations are going. A passionate goal of mine would be to work with the Financial Aid Office to better support students through opportunities of scholarship, financial aid, allocations, and more. Thank you for your time tonight. I will stand for any questions.
Are there any questions for Jiawin Wang at this time? Senator Van Dyke.
Sorry, wrong period. Sorry.
That's okay. Seeing none, thank you. And we will now move into the debate period. Is there anyone who would like to speak in affirmation or negation at this time? Senator Van Dyke.
Yes, I had the opportunity to work with Jiawin when she was one of my nominations to become a senator, and she is bold, brave, and brilliant. She asks a lot of the tough questions. She is not scared to get down to business. She's not afraid to do the right thing and to admit when she makes a mistake and try to figure out the answers to her questions. And I have full faith that she is capable of performing the job and duties and responsibilities as treasurer of the student government. And if I'm allowed to, I can't remember if this is one of the positions I'm not allowed to or not, but if I'm allowed to, I would like to make a motion to approve with unanimous consent. However, if I'm not, I will encourage you all to vote in affirmation in favor of Jiawin Wang.
It would be in compliance. Only the advocates are not allowed to be confirmed by unanimous consent.
Then I make a motion to adopt with unanimous consent.
Are there any objections at this time? Seeing none, congratulations. Okay, and we will now move into 7.2 under section 7. The clerk will read.
Act on request to approve SB-66-005, appointing Noelle Hawkins to the position of Media Relations Director.
Is the author here and wish to speak? The floor is yours.
All right. Noelle Hawkins. Noelle and I go way back. I had the chance to experience the Barton School of Business with her as we both are marketing majors. She holds several roles on campus from her marketing and her role in photography. Whether it's in Alpha Phi or it's in the SEAL office, she all around knows her work. I've seen her work, I know her work, I know that she has what it takes to be a part of our association, and I'm confident in all of her abilities. I yield the rest of my time to Noelle.
Hi, everyone. My name's Noelle. It's nice to meet you all. There's a lot of familiar faces, but I have a little presentation thing. I'm a really visual person, so I don't know if I'm allowed to screen share that or.
Yeah, I turn it on. You should be good to go.
Okay, cool. Okay, bear with me. All right, I don't know what's going on. Does anybody know how to move moved it? Okay, we're good. Anyways, this does not really have an accurate representation of my tech savviness, but anyways, I'm really excited. I have been around the SGA office a lot, working for SEAL. There I was the marketing and outreach student assistant, but I do have a little bit of relevant experience that I can talk on. So I was the vice president of marketing for Alpha Phi. This is just a ton of bullet points of like super specific things kind of taken from my resume, but from that, I've contributed to a lot of increases in charitable donations. I've received a lot of recognition for campaigns that I've put on for myself or for the chapter and for individual events and things that we've done for the chapter. I've been able to develop my leadership being in this position, and overall just have attributed a lot of my experience to vice president of marketing. So that is some of that. If you'd like to read it later, we can screenshot it, but that is a lot. And then I also was the marketing and outreach student assistant for the SEAL office. I've done fully integrated campaigns for them, as well as some logo design that's down in the bottom left for ILI and SLE. I have attended the events, taken photos, done tons of headshots. I've probably taken almost everybody's headshot in this Zoom. So if that's why you're like, she looks familiar, that's why. And I'm really familiar with creating brand guidelines. So that was something that I did there as well. And then some of my strengths are photography, communication, creativity, and collaboration. I love graphic design, branding, content creation. And then to be more straightforward, I do have proficiencies and certifications. So Adobe Lightroom is photo stuff, Photoshop and Illustrator, Canva, but I feel like everybody's a professional at Canva. Writing and social media analytics and all that stuff. Good at all of that stuff. And then basically I wanted to talk about where I would see moving SGA media. And one of the biggest things is meeting the students where they are. I think that SGA has a really good opportunity to basically tell the students what we're doing for them rather than making them look for it on the website and things like that. And by doing that, we would make a brand of SGA that is recognizable and consistent across every platform. We want the students to know who SGA is when we push things out, what's SGA's personality, and how are we maintaining that throughout everything. And then just being frequent with updates and being super concise, because you'll hear a lot of times people are pushed away by structured jargon. So meeting the students with a language that they understand and relate to would be a big part of that. And then making people want to follow SGA to really be in the know. And then how we would get there is by implementing content calendars and updating the website, and just overall becoming a really exciting and informative figure for the students' social media. We want to make sure that all of the incoming freshmen are following by choice and not out of a perceived necessity that they have to. So people should want to know what SGA is doing because it should be fun and awesome. We should also be sharing the points that Iris and Sophie ran on for leadership relentlessly, because a big part of that is helping them hold themselves accountable, and the students want to be able to do that as well. So that is that. And that is all. I will stand for questions. And I will stop sharing.
Are there any questions at this time? Seeing none, thank you. We will now move into the debating period. Is there anyone who would like to speak in affirmation or negation at this time? Senator Flair.
Hi, okay, so I personally know Noelle pretty well. She's in my chapter of Alpha Phi. And if there's anything, I'll be speaking in affirmation, by the way. Sorry, I didn't start with that. If there's anything Noelle knows, it's marketing. If you can see it through her presentation that she had, she just gets it. Like, I know it's her major and everything, but like she has a true talent for it. I think that she could definitely be a really great asset to SGA and being on our team. So yeah, I just want to speak in affirmation.
Thank you, Senator Howard.
Am I unmuted? Can you hear me? Okay, sorry. I'll also be speaking in affirmation, just like Sophie. Noelle's also in my chapter of Alpha Phi, and she is incredible at marketing. She always has like the cutest presentations. She just truly knows what she's doing, and I feel like there is honestly no one that I could see doing this position better than she would. So I strongly urge you to vote in affirmation for her.
Thank you, Senator Van Dyke.
One thing about Miss Noelle is she can shoot a camera. Her work is phenomenal, and I'm not even speaking from any knowledge of how to take pictures, but I've seen some of her work from some of the different programs that I've been a part of, and I think her goals are very solid and very sound. And with that, I'd like to make a motion to adopt with unanimous consent.
Are there any objections at this time? Okay. Seeing none, congratulations. And with that, we will move into 7.3 under section 7. The clerk will read.
Act on request to approve SB-66-006, appointing Nora Malone to the position of Chief of Staff.
Is the author here and wish to speak?
I am.
The floor is
So
yours.
we all know Miss Nora Malone. She is our clerk. But I want her. Nora serves as the current clerk of the Senate. We don't thank her enough for what she does. She is responsible for all the records, and she's been doing a dang good job of that. She has expressed interest in the executive branch as the Chief of Staff to elevate her abilities, as she would like to be in charge of all the association's records. Her organization skills are immaculate, and she is a phenomenal leader in all of our student government. I yield my time to Nora Malone.
All right, hi everybody. Have a little patience. I'm sorry, I'm operating a lot of things on my computer right now. Okay. Whew. Good evening, Senate. For those that don't know me, my name is Nora Malone. I am a junior studying vocal music education. As a student at Wichita State, I have had the honor of participating in the WSU Concert Choir and engaging with the greater Wichita community as a student advocate at the Juniper Arts Academy, an organization that provides a fine arts education to kids in foster care, group homes, and juvenile detention. I have also served as the clerk of the Student Senate and as the president of ACDA, a student organization dedicated to providing professional development opportunities to future vocal music educators. Above all, I am passionate about teaching, and my end goal is to be a choir director. If anybody has had a good teacher, you know that in order to be a good teacher, you need to be extremely knowledgeable in your field, you have to have exceptional administrative skills, and you have to be an advocate for yourself and for your students, and a shoulder to lean or cry on. I have been able to showcase and develop those skills as the clerk of the Senate, and I believe that those same skills are needed from the Chief of Staff. Throughout this past year, it has been my honor to serve as your clerk. Like most of you, I've seen and worked with 3 presidents and 2 speakers. As clerk, you've seen me set up, take attendance, take minutes, and do the heroic reading of the titles of bills. Behind the scenes, I've worked diligently to get all written records signed, filed, and uploaded. I've collaborated with individual committee chairs and pro temps to make sure all of their written records were up to date. I've filled in any gaps to properly support Speaker Van Dyke in his role. And without a chief of staff for most of this year, I've also had the pleasure of working with Advisor Fonseca and Vice President Thornton to put together the Legislative Journal. I've been able to speak with President Okiri, Vice President Martins, Advisor Fonseca, and Advisor McLean to see what the role requires of me constitutionally and how the Okiri-Martins administration would like to utilize this position. Because of my experience as the clerk of the Senate, the roles I've led in other parts of my life, and the relationships I have had with President Okiri and Vice President Martins, I feel confident that I can perform the duties of the Chief of Staff. If I am confirmed as the Chief of Staff, I will continue to do what I've been doing as clerk, just on a slightly larger scale. Per the Okiri-Martins administration and the Constitution, I will be guiding the two clerks of the other branches, holding the executive branch accountable, spearheading the legislative journal, and supporting the Okiri-Martins administration in any way that I can. I will attend every Senate meeting and coordinate efforts to ensure that all legislation, both executive and legislative in origin, is properly implemented into association policy and advocated to campus administration. Additionally, I plan to engage in the collaborative effort to review and amend certain sections and protocols outlined in the Constitution. It has been my pleasure to serve you over the past year, and I hope you'll allow me to continue using my skills to best support the student government and the student body of Wichita State University. Thank you, and I will stand for questions.
Are there any questions at this time? Seeing none, we will move into the debating period. Is there anyone who would like to speak in affirmation or negation? Senator Thompson.
Clerk Malone is an amazing and beneficial character for the Senate. And honestly, I think it needs a bold underline underneath the statement she just made. And one of the requirements of being a good teacher is to have good administrative skills. And Clerk Malone, Nora, exemplifies that. I think she would do a great job in the executive branch as part of cabinet, as well as maintaining all the responsibilities she currently does. With that, I'll be voting in affirmation.
Thank you, Senator Kirk.
Yes, sorry, my camera is not working, but in my time in the Student Government Association, I asked Nora to come alongside me, and ever since her coming into the student government, or even anything outside of the student government, she always gives 120,000% of her effort and her time. Anytime I see her doing something, she always wants to do it to the utmost perfection, but then always asking what could have been done different and what could have been done better. I'm very inspired by her and everything that she does. She always wants to best represent not just herself in a positive and a negative. She always puts herself second. However, one thing that I would very much encourage you to get to know her is because she always wants to make sure that every individual is helped. Within the School of Music, as she said in her speech, she helps ACDA, and she has taken that group from nothing and brought it to something. I've seen her create things out of nothing and create into spectacular things. I will definitely be voting this in favor, and with that, I will motion to approve with unanimous consent.
Are there any objections at this time? Seeing none, congratulations. And with that, we will move into 7.4 under section 7. The clerk will read.
Act on request to approve SB-66-007, appointing Tatum Graham to the position of graduate student advocate.
Is the author here and wish to speak?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, Tatum Graham. Tatum Graham. Okay, I have gotten to work with her in so many different capacities. We lived on the same floor my freshman year, so that's where I met Tatum. So I got to work with her when we both were on Black Student Union's cabinet. She served as the secretary and I served as the social media coordinator. She has a passion for helping others and advocating for those who cannot. She is getting her undergraduate degree and her graduate degree at the same time, though through this dualship program. So she's experienced both the undergraduate and the graduate adversity and success that there is at Wichita State. She's a team player, and I know she is up for the task. I yield the rest of my time to Tatum Graham.
All right. Hi, guys. I'm pretty new here. I haven't served with you guys, but I will just talk a little bit about myself. My name is Tatum Graham. Like Iris had stated, I am getting my undergrad and graduate degree at the same time. So with that being said, I'm majoring in health management with a concentration in administration. I'm in the dual accelerated master's in health administrations program. And while doing so, I do believe that I'm more than capable of being in this position of the graduate student advocate, as I kind of see both sides of concerns and issues that both graduate and undergraduate students may face. Some more about me, like Iris also had stated, I did serve as a secretary of Black Student Union for a term. I've been the general member of Black Student Union and Phenomenal Women as well. I've worked as a student assistant in both the Office of Diversity and Inclusion and the College of Health Professions Advising Office. I've also been a past mentor, which is just promoting academic student success. And with that, I got the chance to guide first-year freshmen to a path to success, whether that was academically, professionally, or personally. As a past mentor, not all those days or cases with my mentees were sunshines and rainbows, but I did get the chance to do exactly what I value in life, which is just simply to help others. I'm very passionate about helping others, whether they're in positive or negative situations. That's because although helping one individual may not change the world, it may change their world. Well, I'm here today to be appointed for the graduate student advocate position. I would like to add that, like I previously stated, both undergraduate and graduate students share a lot of common issues and concerns at the university level. And also to add, they have to navigate the university's processes and policies, which can be very complex and overwhelming. What I want to do if I were given the opportunity for this position would be to ensure the success and well-being of each student who may address their concerns or issues with myself or our office in general. I do want to provide them with a safe space to guide them through these processes and procedures, and just recognize all their shared concerns, just to create a whole supportive and inclusive environment. Let's see. As the graduate student advocate, I am confident I will be making a meaningful impact on the lives of my fellow students and peers. I will gladly serve as a voice for the students and help them navigate our system here at WSU. So with that being said, I do humbly ask for your vote and support for this position. I do believe that together we can make a positive difference in the lives of our fellow students and peers. As our president would say, it's time to level up. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions at this time? Seeing none, we will move into the debating period. Is there anyone who would like to speak in affirmation or negation at this time? Senator Van Dyke.
Yes, I will be speaking in affirmation of Tatum. I have known Tatum since she stepped foot onto Wichita State's campus. She is a wonderful person. She's great with people. She's great at asking people questions and trying to get to know them better and trying to get down to the root cause of the issue and find solutions for that. And I think she's overall a great candidate for this. I had called her the other day and I said, girl, this ain't gonna wipe you out, is it? But she reassured me that she is more than capable of doing this job. She reassured me that she wants to do this and that she is excited and ecstatic about this. And with that, I would encourage each and every one of you to vote in favor of this nomination.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in debate period at this time? Seeing none, we will now move into the voting period.
Sophie, I think Jay had his hand up.
Oh, sorry. Senator Thompson.
With the motion to pass by unanimous consent of the Senate.
So this is another advocate position, so we can't do unanimous, but thank you. So we will still move into the voting period.
So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna drop this link in the chat. everyone needs to get it done in expeditiously. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. All right.
Just for reference, only senators can vote. So if you're not a senator, please do not vote.
And it does confirm your name, so we will put that into the voting record as well. And if you have any problems, please let me know. I completely forgot to test run this. Waiting on 2 more. Okay, with 28 in favor, 0 nays, and 0 abstentions, motion passes.
Congratulations. And we will now move into section 8.1. The clerk will read.
Election of the Speaker of the Senate.
The Speaker of the Senate will serve as the presiding officer of the Senate and head of the legislative branch during this session. The Speaker must be elected to the Senate and will serve in the line of succession to the office of presidency. At this time, I will open the floor for nominations. If you would like to nominate a senator to the speakership or would like to self-nominate yourself, please raise your hand and you will be called on to state the nomination. Following the nomination and or nomination speech, nominees must accept their nomination to be added to the ballot. I will call on the senator by saying, Senator, for what reason do you wish to be recognized? And you will respond by saying, Madam President, I wish to nominate blank. Are there any questions? I'm assuming you guys don't have questions. You just want to speak. Okay, I'm going to say Senator Patterson or Senator Madden.
Madam President, I wish to nominate Senator Jay Thompson.
Senator Thompson, do you accept this nomination?
Madam President, I accept.
Senator Fleer?
Madam President, I wish to nominate Kylie Hauer for speakership.
Senator Howard, do you accept this nomination?
I accept.
Senator Brown?
Madam President, I would like to nominate AJ Haynes for nomination.
Senator Haynes, do you accept this nomination?
Y'all can hear me? Oh, unfortunately, I have to reject the nomination, but thanks.
Is there anyone else who would like to be nominated or wish to nominate a fellow senator? Senator Owens?
Madam President, I wish to nominate Victoria Owens for position of Speaker.
Senator Victoria Owens, do you accept this nomination?
I do.
Okay.
So if you don't forget to ask, are there any other nominations?
Are there any other nominations at this time? At this time, the nominees for the speaker are Senator Howard, Senator Thompson, and Senator Victoria Owens. We will begin with the presentation of nominees in order of nomination, starting with Senator Thompson. Advisor McLean shall serve as the doorkeeper. During the presentations, all other nominees will be excused from the chambers until called on. At this time, we dismiss the other nominees from the chambers, meaning Senator Howard and Senator Victoria Owens.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do for Victoria and Kylie, you're gonna get a message that's gonna pop up on your screen to go into a waiting room. You're gonna be by yourself, so sorry that, take some time for yourself. But something should pop up soon that lets you go into that room. If it does, please click it and then you will go. If they both leave. Oh, this is so much fun today. Okay, I think they're both gone, so Sophie, you are good.
Okay. Senator Thompson, the floor is now yours for 5 minutes to speak for your nomination.
I agree, Gabe. That is an exciting list of nominations. First of all, I want to address last week. Thank you to everyone who has shared their story, consoled with others, and shared strength. It makes me really proud that so many of you are here for the right reasons. We are here, among our various reaches in life, volunteering our time to reconcile with the wrongs in our world, on our campus, and in our social culture. No one deserves to be harassed, no voice deserves to be ignored, and no shocker deserves to be mistreated. Though the debates last week were heavy, I believe we as a body will be stronger and more disciplined because of it. I will not tolerate any harassment in student government. Due to the topicality, I also want to start by saying on record that I've only gone through a conduct process twice in my life. One being framed by elementary school bullies, and two for consuming CBD cookies on a school trip my first year here. So I can promise you that in my time serving you all, I would be a strong, caring, and ethical leader. I see you all for who you are. I recognize what makes you you. I'm able to see through what others have done to you, and I forgive you when forgiveness is deserved. Having said all that, I will proceed as my authentic self. I am Jay Thompson. I am born and raised in the Wichita area, and next year will be my 5th and final year here studying aerospace. I have been and will be a shocker for life. My 3 years in SGA have brought me unique lessons, opportunities, and memories. These, along with my classes and the honors leadership track, have shaped me to be the person and leader I am today. From chatting with the James Radigan to shaking the hand of the governor, from presenting a grading scale proposal to Faculty Senate to being President Kirk's legislative director, and from building my favorite group of friends in my life to meeting awesome people like Clarence, Gabe, and so many others, I see and feel the benefits that being a member of our student government can bring. I want this for all of you. I want to be able to make that happen for more of you. That is why, through everything, I am running to be our student body's Speaker of the Student Senate. To be completely transparent with you all, this is not necessarily a position that I have long-term desperately wanted to hold. But how I look at my role in SGA is complicated. I see myself as more of a steward than a participant. And what I mean by that is simply put, as I want the best for this organization and those in it. If my role is to step up, then step up I shall. 2 weeks ago, I mentioned that I saw the speaker position being one that required a likable personality, good values, and the ability to inspire. Though this speech doesn't touch much on a campaign or platform, I hope you all see these traits in myself. Like Senator Brown has been saying, though, this is about we, not me. We as a team are capable, we as a team are prepared, and we as a team are destined for great things. The 66th session will leave a mark on our university, and pending all of your voices, I stand ready to serve you all and gear us towards positivity, inclusivity, connectivity, and productivity. I've thought in depth about the speaker role, both last year and this year. What commands my thoughts on it, if I go for it or not, is heavily influenced by many factors. Notably though, I cannot go against the commitment I made to myself before college. Any role I offer myself up for or put myself in, I am dedicated to putting excessive energy into it. I have done this for multiple organizations on campus, most recently as vice president of the Rocket Club and on the cabinet in the 65th session. Doing the same for this role will inspire, instigate, and necessitate growth in myself and those around me. I promise that if appointed speaker, I will make it a worthwhile experience for myself and for the association. Thank you, and I stand for any and all questions.
Thank you. The floor is now open for 3 minutes for questions and answers by the members of the Senate. Does anyone have any questions for Jay Thompson at this time? Senator Kirk.
Yeah, so first, thank you for going through your story with us. But my direct question would be, so can you dive a little bit more deeper into what exactly specifically you're wanting to do as the speaker? Within the speaker role, there are a lot of responsibilities for Senate leadership with senators in general, faculty, staff, anything like that. What exactly do you see the speaker position going towards in the future, especially with the Senate Restructuring Act that was just passed in the 65th session?
Thank you for mentioning the Senate restructuring at the end of that question. I love it. I think senator development is going to be the start of many new experiences in the next several years, or as long as this restructuring lasts. In the role as speaker, I believe that there are many avenues that we can use to inspire the individuals within our organization. And some of the things that I've thought about in the past week, we need to utilize the journals that are available to us from previous sessions. I believe that this can be a wonderful tool for encouraging people now to look at what other people have done in the past and build on it. Look at how other people have written in the past and build on it. Look at the goals of the people around us and build on it. I see that being the role of the speaker, to inspire that.
Are there any further questions at this time? None. Do we just move out of the?
Yeah, so Jay, something will pop up on your screen, hopefully. Or I think Senator Brown might have one, but Jay, when time comes, something should pop up on your screen to move into a room when the time comes.
Senator Brown.
Yes, I just wanted to ask Jay Thompson about how are you going to incorporate the diversity and equity aspect of, bringing in through the Senate, and how are you going to make sure that you are keeping up with the President Iris and Vice President Sophie agenda and incorporate that into the Senate?
Thank you for your question. So I've really enjoyed getting to know Sophie a little bit recently and Iris all of last year. I think they're super hard workers. I'm supportive of their agenda, and again, backing and addressing Senate restructuring. The role of the government oversight chair, I believe, should be used to coordinate with the executive branch and really connect us with one another. And having decided to run for this position, I currently am looking to clear off a lot of time for next school year to, like I said, put excessive energy into this. I will be available in the office as much as I can. I will be talking with Iris and Sophie as much as I can. The communication factor between the legislative and the executive branch in the past has faltered. Having seen that with my own eyes for 3 years, I kind of have an idea of where there is a gap in communication. And I think it starts with cabinet members interacting with senators. So I will be pushing for that, or encouraging the executive branch to do that as much as possible in the 66th session.
I have time for one more question. Senator Patterson or Madden?
Hi. I have a question. Obviously, why did I say that? Sorry. How do you feel that we as a Senate can foster a more inclusive environment in SGA that's deeper than just our physical features?
Okay, that's a good question. I will probably point to the presentation that we had from the media director appointee tonight. I completely agree. We do need to take out some of the structured jargon, and I myself am guilty of using a lot of it. So when it comes to talking with students on campus that don't know who SGA is or don't know what we do, I think it's important that we point to the people who are here and the comfort that this environment is supposed to bring for change, for voices, for anyone with a differing thought from the majority. That all needs to have a comfortable environment to flourish. And I would look forward to working on making that happen with the leadership team that I would appoint.
Thank you. Advisor Fonseca.
Yep, give me 1 second. Okay, Jay, something should pop up on your screen. Okay, wonderful. Okay, that was fun. So Kylie is next.
Yes.
All right, she's in.
Perfect. Senator Hauer, you now have the floor for 5 minutes to speak on your nomination.
Can everyone hear me okay? Okay, perfect. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kylie Hauer. I am now a sophomore at Wichita State studying political science and economics with a minor in Spanish. I have a passion for volunteer work and advocacy, and I want to create a positive environment that encourages healthy discussion during Senate meetings while uplifting the voices of senators. I'm flattered to have been nominated by a fellow senator to hold this position. I know that the 66th session has been off to a rocky start already, but I am proud of every single person in here tonight dedicating their time to the student body. I entered Student Government Association in the 65th session, and never in my life have I witnessed such passion, power, and perseverance in one place before coming into this body. No matter what happens this session, I'm honored to be in the presence of you all, serving the students, one meeting and one piece of legislation at a time. When I started my position in Senate, I knew that I wanted to leave my mark on this campus by advocating for students, but I had no idea where to start. I didn't know what needed to be changed, and I had no idea how to change it. Now, coming into the 66th session, I finally feel like I have a vision. I know what needs to be changed, and I have an idea of how to fix it. I believe that I'm qualified to fill this role, and I promise to do everything in my power to amplify everyone's voices in these chambers. I believe that as Speaker of the Senate, it's my duty to protect your dreams and visions for our campus as senators, and I know that after Speaker Van Dyke's term, I have huge shoes to fill, but I believe based on my experience and passion for service, I won't disappoint. During my high school career, I held a plethora of leadership roles, including captain of our high school debate team for 2 years and senior leader of multiple clubs and sports teams in school, including our track and field team, tennis team, and Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Friends of Rachel, and Scholars Bowl. During my time leading debate, I taught novices how to write their own affirmative cases, and I taught them how to debate, all while building up my own case and preparing my team. I built up a 4-speaker debate team that later went on to win regionals 2 years in a row, not to brag. I believe that this can apply to my role as Speaker of the Senate because I'm versed in writing cases that are similarly formatted to legislation. I'm familiar with leadership, and I know how to guide and teach my peers. Although I've only been here for 1 year, I'm involved in multiple different organizations on campus, including Alpha Phi and Student Ambassador Society, and I currently hold positions as a Shocker Navigator and as a Support Locker student assistant. I'm willing and able to dedicate my time, and I understand the respect and work that goes into making a team work cohesively. In its most inherent form, student government is a team. It's a team of students passionate about serving our campus, working together to enact positive change. I want nothing more than to become an integral part of this team, and it would be my honor to lead you all. Now,
to understand my goals. I want to see more improvement in the student voter turnout. I want to see more communication between senators and their constituencies. And I want us as senators to close the gap between students and student government. And I encourage my fellow senators to attend on-campus events with me and reach out to students. The student body is the entire reason for us being here, and we need to keep that in mind when we pass legislation and when we get up every single week to come to these meetings. Everyone in this meeting should be asking themselves, if I'm not here for the students, then what am I here for? I understand that my lack of experience can be perceived as a weakness, but I also believe it can be a strength. Because of my lack of experience, I'm a blank slate, and I'm willing to be molded into the leader that you all need. I don't have any old stigmas about how I want to run things because I haven't been a part of this body for that long, and I'm open to hearing issues. I can offer a fresh perspective to old issues still not resolved by our organization, and I pride myself in being moderate because I can see both sides of the issue, which I think gives me an upper hand in solving things. I also believe that by engaging myself with the more experienced members of this body, I can soak up their knowledge while leading this organization. More important than, to me, my own personal opinions is the betterment of our student body. So regardless of if we see eye to eye, I want to hear every one of these chambers out. Whether or not you're new to Senate or you've been here for years, I want you to feel comfortable talking to me or talking to anyone else in the Senate about issues on our campus. I want everyone here to find their voice and be comfortable using it. As members of the student body, we've been called to continue our education and enrich ourselves with new ideas and experiences. And as student senators, we've been called to a higher purpose, protecting those ideas and experiences and protecting the students who have them. Thank you for nominating me for this position, and I stand for questions.
Are there any questions for Kylie Hauer at this time? Senator Patterson or member?
As speaker, how will you cultivate a culture within SGA that focuses on diversity, equity, and inclusion, not just when it comes to our physical features, but also intersectionality and our privileges?
Yeah, so I believe it starts with creating a positive environment to talk about issues. Something that I've noticed within the 65th session is I feel like there's a lot of tension sometimes during Senate sessions, and I feel like that can be kind of distracting. And so I believe that if we all kind of treat each other as people, obviously, and as friends and respect each other with that mutual respect, it would make people more comfortable talking about these issues. And from then on, we can move forward with uplifting those things and solving those issues.
Are there any further questions at this time? Seeing none, thank you.
Kylie, something will pop back up on your screen for you to move back into the waiting room in a second. Maybe. Actually, if you click breakout rooms in the bottom, does something pop up for you?
Let me try.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Okay. And Victoria's in. Okay, perfect.
Perfect. Senator Owens, the floor is now yours for 5 minutes to speak on your nomination.
Okay. Can everyone hear me? Can I get cool, snazzy? I am a bit nervous, so please don't allow the shake of my voice to dissuade you from the content of my speech. It is quite a scary thing to come in front of so many people and to pitch yourself and your qualifications. So I applaud all the other people who additionally did so. I think it's such a wonderful thing to have so many people interested in service. My name is Victoria Owens. If you don't know, I'm officially a junior here at Wichita State University studying political science and women's studies, and hopefully wanting to add formally sociology. I'm deeply interested in the study of humans and, more importantly, how society impacts the positions our leaders occupy and all of their roles. I I've been fascinated with history and activities that allow me to pursue those interests. Most importantly, I am dedicated to the study of how our leaders represent the people they serve, hence sociology, political science, and also how the intersections of oppression begin to conflate that, and also how that reflects upon our history and the people that serve, more specifically women and women of color, and how they rarely come up in history. Quite interested in many of those things. So if anyone else is, please come to me and we can have an in-depth chat about it. But I think in general, my philosophy is that I don't believe that things have to be done the same way that they have always been done. I believe it is crucial to adapt to the strengths of those working within this diverse body. I think is it a waste of talent and all of the people who occupy this body to not allow for diverse ways to operate within this body and diverse options for leadership. So let's talk a little bit about what I would do if I was granted this honor of occupying this position. I would, one, select my leadership if that is already decided that it'll continue to be the leaders who previously were chosen, and then essentially hit the ground running. I did policy and congressional debate in high school. So congressional debate means that you use Robert's Rules of Order. So I'm quite comfortable with Robert's Rules of Order. Moreover, I'm quite comfortable in professional and policy environments. I also do Model UN here. So I'm literally supposed to be a diplomat for whatever country is chosen. So I'm quite comfortable with those things. Moreover, I was a thespian in high school in theater, which means I directed a lot of plays, stage manager. I also was set director. So I'm quite comfortable with that. And in the pursuit of serving people, I additionally became an RA on campus, which I serve 65 residents here, which is quite a large group of people to serve and to be that person of contact. Moreover, I'm familiar with volunteer work, as I worked many summers as a teen at Noah Lodge in my local hometown, which is a local homeless shelter. And I love doing that. I love serving people. It's just really important to me. I'm happy additionally to serve in any capacity within this body. So it's just really an honor to be given this opportunity. So I actually have steps that I wanted to take first to define the responsibilities of this position. I think it's an interesting time where we find ourselves, the formulation of Senate and all the leadership positions to be so different and so unique and so moldable. So I would meet with the chairs in order to determine how the foundation within these positions would kind of be altered. I would also continue the work I did as academic affairs chair, and obviously whoever fills in that role, I would meet with them and all the other chairs, because I did create a quite in-depth transition guide that I would go through with all the chairs. A couple of those examples would be grief accommodations. I worked with David Liu as they worked with CAPS on grief accommodations and installing them here at the university, because we currently do not have guidelines. I would call back the resolutions from last year, because I believe that the current formulation of committees and the work that they do, we don't necessarily see a solution or an end to those resolutions. I believe we kind of do those resolutions and then they kind of get lost and we're like, oh, it's solved. But in reality, I think we can take that a step further and do more. I would I would want to do an update for Faculty Senate in order to engage and create more of a connection with Faculty Senate and even Staff Senate too. So maybe an update monthly or semesterly to Faculty Senate. I also served on Faculty Senate as the Academic Affairs Chair. I'm very comfortable with all those positions and how they occupy here at this campus. So I know how they work. I know how they formulate, which is much different than they do here. Moreover, I like a committee to be a time where we can all share and work on the stuff that interests us the most. Moreover, I believe that in order to be the best leader I could possibly be, I need to garner the strengths within this body. So I'd want to meet with everybody to see where they lie and see, what they're interested in, and also how best to use their strengths in order to serve the student body to the best of our capability. Additionally, I believe we occupy such a privileged privileged space to be able to, serve the student body. So I would do the best that I can to not only serve the student body, but do the best to represent the people within this diverse body and the people that they represent. So yeah, that's kind of me, and I'm open for questions.
Are there any questions at this time? Senator Knight.
Hi, sorry, my camera's off. But so you said a lot about what you wanted to do and what you're going to do. I don't know if it's just because the Zoom is kind of being weird. I don't know if I heard anything wrong or anything like that, but how are you going to help us help you into that? How are you going to lead us to help you into the goals that are planned?
Great question. I think it's a wonderful thing to be able to utilize the skills within this body to understand how best to shape my leadership skills. I don't believe one leader is the best for every individual within this body. I think I need to play multiple roles for multiple people. I know I personally want a leader who allows me to occupy this space more flexibly, kind of more independently. And I know some people really need that help and that structure and need people to say, hey, this is what you need to do. And then these are the steps to take. And I know that in order to do that at the best as the leader, you need to get to know the people you would serve and represent. And so how I would want to do that is to learn what interests you, learn how best you occupy this space, how best I can serve each individual here. And then do that, and allow you all to learn and understand and all of those things of like the procedures, especially newer people, how to create resolutions, how to create bills, who to get in contact with, all of those things, and to be able to be that guiding force in order to conduct that change. I know I found it great because our last previous speaker, Speaker Van Dijk, did a fantastic job at leading their leadership team and really allowed them the flexibility to formulate their committees, which is what I want to do. But if each committee needs a more guiding force, I'm more than happy to do that. I just think adaptability is the best possible thing.
Senator Pattison or Senator Madden?
As a deaf senator, as well as a student, how would you work towards solving issues with inclusion within this body, as well as promoting legislation that can change our campus as a whole in regards to the issue of not only diversity, but inclusion and equity?
Yeah, thank you for your question. As I went to go apply for student services chair and was, granted the opportunity to be nominated for that position, accessibility and issues that the campus has with ADA compliancy were one of my top concerns and things I wanted to address. Moreover, when we did talk to the provost when they came in and we asked questions, I am very comfortable with being straight up and saying, hey, we are not doing what we need to do. We are doing a disservice to this population of humans. And I'm more than happy to do that work and to be the person that just is honest with any position of power. Moreover, I would love to have a conversation with Faculty Senate. I know there's a lot of issues regarding not meeting accommodations. I know I've had that issue personally as well. And a lot of people raised that concern within this body last session of accessibility issues, accommodations being met, and things like that. So I'd want to actually provide maybe a presentation or ask questions to Faculty Senate members within our update that just says, hey, why aren't we meeting this? How can we do it? What's the timeline? What are the steps we need to take? How can we best help you help our students? I think that's the best way that we can garner change. And just to be direct, say, hey, we can create a billion resolutions about this topic, but if it's not getting done, like if it's not changing, we're not doing enough. We need to take that next step. So I think really directing it towards the people who make that substantial change is the most important thing to do, to say, hey, you can ignore our questions as much as you want, but we're going to keep asking you why you aren't doing this for our students.
I'm sorry, we do not have any more time for questions. And the presentation of the nominees is now over. We will begin the debating portion of the election. At this time, all nominees for speaker are dismissed until the debating has ended.
Victoria, something should pop up on your screen in a second to, or actually, if you go to breakout rooms, it should let you rejoin your room. Hopefully. Okay. I'm getting good at this now.
Does anyone wish to speak in debate at this time? Senator Kirk.
Yeah, this is just a question for the advisors. For the speakership, you must be a junior to acquire this position. So would that have one of the candidates not qualified to then be considered?
So no, the way that they do sit in the line of succession, and to become, if the time ever arises where the speaker elevates to the presidency, they must be a junior in order to hold the presidency. But if they're not a junior at that time, then it will skip them and go into the next in the line of succession. But it doesn't require that the speaker themselves is a junior. The only constitutional requirement of junior status is that of the president and vice president.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Senator Van Dyke.
Hello. Yes, I'd be speaking in affirmation of Senator Howard. I believe that it's time for a fresh perspective. She was a senator last session, and she also sat on the Senate Restructure Task Force. However, I think it is time for somebody who has not been in Senate for as long to offer fresh perspective, offer a fresh voice, and to build deeper connections with the senators, to lead the senators forward for a brighter future. That is no disrespect to the other candidates, and I think they are also well qualified. However, I think Senator Howard is the best candidate at this time. I also will mention, while it is never my intention, I always have set eyes for the future and what is to come forward along our path. However, I believe sometimes we have to take a few steps backwards to fully address this whole situation. And with that being said, one thing I do not like personally, if I might, is hypocrisy. When we were first doing the original speaker run, it was Senator Thompson who interrupted me and said that we need evidence, not hearsay. And then, as the Sunflower article of last week points out, that Jay Thompson, at-large senator, said, and this is all from the article, said he knows Malone and Thornton's confession to be true, but said it is not the job of the Senate to assess accusations. And it goes on to say at the very end of that, it is not a crime to flirt. Now, I could be very wrong in my understanding of his words. However, I know I was also approached afterwards. And from my perception of the conversation, it seemed like he was more worried about supporting his relationships with certain individuals versus doing the right thing. And I would assume and hope that he voted in the right way. Regardless, I think Senator Howard has not had any involvement with anything to my knowledge. She seems, I'm gonna use the word clean. She seems clean from any dirt. She seems free from any trouble. She seems free from any problems. And she seems like she has this light around her that will guide us to a brighter place in comparison to the other candidates. And with that, I will say that.
Senator Owens.
Hello. You probably can guess who I'm speaking in favor for. So you cannot see me on the camera. I just had a medical procedure, so I do not look great. But hopefully, if you can hear me, if I need to slow down, please let me know. Well, obviously, I've known my sister for my entire life, and they are a force to be reckoned with. I think all the candidates here today are very passionate individuals, and I'm so happy to see amazing leaders wanting to step forward to this position, especially when we have had such a rocky start. My sister did not get the chance to fully brag about herself, so I will do so here. They are a leader and an advocate, but also a guide. They can be a friend, but they can also be someone who helps you, console you. As a residence assistant and an RA on campus, I have seen so many times where they have been on duty or they have been called or texted from a resident saying, I need to meet about this issue. I'm really concerned. No one is listening to me. And they have said, okay, when do you want to meet? We can do it. Let's set up a meeting. They're available 100% of the time to advocate and fight for students here on campus, and they have shown that through their time on campus. I remember seeing multiple times being like, hey, where are you? And they're like, oh, I'm having another meeting with a student about this issue. And then I'm like, oh, okay. And then them being like, oh, and next after that, I'm having a meeting with my boss to make sure that we can resolve the issue. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm rooting for you. And they are someone who, even when leadership or those above seem to be not fully advocating for their students in the best way possible, they can call that out and say, okay, then I'll do it. If you can't get it done, I'll do it. And that way of passion and advocacy is very powerful to me. In terms of speaker, I have seen them in many roles as they have led chambers like Congress and in Model UN. And I've seen the way in which they are able to navigate the conversations of very passionate topics in ways that are concise, but also get our words out there and let us speak on the issues, but also ways of making sure that everyone gets the right to speak and has the ability to say what they need to advocate for. In terms of their time as chair of the Academic Affairs Committee, they have been a force to be reckoned with. I understand that while new perspectives might be something that is called for, other candidates do not have the connections that certain leadership members who have been in this body for a long time have. She has been a part of this body since before she even stepped on campus, knowing she wanted to advocate for these people, but also she has links with faculty senate and staff and other people on campus to be able to know who to go to guide people. And I feel like to fully guide people in the way that they want, like to funnel your passions in the way you need someone who knows who to go to, and she definitely is that person. Overall, I've spoken a lot about my sister, and that's because I truly believe she's the best leader for the role, and I think she has the passion and to represent everyone equally. And I just hope that you join me in voting for her as speaker.
Thank you, Senator Kirk.
Hi, everyone. So I put a lot of time and thought behind this because as everyone has said, I mean, I've worked directly with all three of these individuals, and I feel all of them have amazing qualities to be able to come forward and serve, and they have actively served the students. However, I'm going to bluntly and effectively be voting in favor for Senator Howard. I think one thing that Senator Van Dyke said that I think that we all need to remember is this is a time for complete new. I think as every single candidate came forward, gave a very, very direct plan on what, like who they were. I think with having a new perspective, with having a new aspect on the direction of where the Senate can, will, should be going, and with the direct plan to work directly with the with anything that we have go forward with the executive branch. I mean, at the end of the day, I think if we get any three of these, there's going to be positives and negatives for any of them. But I think with my personal opinion going forward, Senator Howard would be one of the best choices out of the three. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Senator Brown.
Yes, so I am going to speak in affirmations of Senator Howard. I loved her speech. I loved everything that she said. And I also serve with Senator Howard within Student Ambassador Society, and she's just like such a sweet, caring person. She's willing to, you know, step up about her leadership. She's not afraid to ask. I am so sorry. Can y'all hear me? Okay. She is not afraid to stand up and speak and just get the work done. And also, I would like to emphasize that within her speech, she talked about, you know, that she is willing to get the work done. And she also emphasized like what she's going to do. I feel like the other speakers, you know, they kind of talked about that, but they kind of didn't hit what we needed to hit. Just like Senator John Kirk talked about and Senator Greg talked about, that we just need a fresh start. We need something new. We're all exhausted, we're tired, but we want to start something that's going to benefit for all of us, and we want to work as a team. So I think, and I would like for you guys to join me in voting for Senator Howard for our next Speaker of the Senate.
Thank you, Senator Fleer.
Hi, okay, can you guys hear me? Okay, awesome. So I'm also going to be speaking in affirmation of Senator Howard. First, I just want to say that there are a lot of great candidates tonight. Honestly, I feel like anybody could do this job well. But I just have to speak in affirmation of Senator Howard. Through my time knowing her, I have only been impressed. She has stepped up. She has been structured and strong, yet she's one of the first people to be there for you when you need to talk. She understands that, yes, while she doesn't have the SGA leadership experience that a lot of people are seeking, without this position, she will continue to seek stronger positions and she will get that experience and she will be back. And that's what I really love about her, is that she's so willing to learn. She's so willing to take on more. I really feel like I have a speech and I'm speaking from the heart right now because I'm just so passionate about how well she would serve here. There's so much to do. It's, to me and to us younger senators, sorry if you can hear that, to us younger senators, it's so much more than restructuring. It's more than, oh, we needed a fresh voice, we need this. She wants to step up. She wants to continue to lead and she wants to be the people's speaker and she wants to help and she also wants to be structured. And I think that she honestly has some of the best qualities that we would need in a speaker. And she's so willing to learn and grow. And I'm intimidated by her in the best ways because I am also a woman in leadership and she scares me, but in the best ways where I know that she can get things done and I know that she'll lead people in the most caring and effective way. And I could talk about her all day, so I think I'll just stop now, but please vote for Senator Howard. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Thayer.
Okay. First off, sorry if there's any connection issues. I don't have Wi-Fi at my home currently, and I'm using my data, and I have a very loud cat that you might hear in the background. But I will be speaking in affirmation of Senator Howard as well. Well, I don't know her personally. I can relate a lot to her experiences doing Speech Innovate like I did in high school, and I was in similar positions as she was describing herself. And what she was describing in those experiences feels like a lot of what I did. So I believe, even though I don't know her, that she does seem fully capable and talented to be in this position. And while I wasn't in the 65th session, I wasn't very far from it. I was seeing a lot of it from the sidelines, especially the stuff early on. And to see that she continues to be in SGA after everything that happened at the start of the 65th session and has clearly just moved on with perseverance really says a lot about her character and how she would approach this role. And I wholeheartedly agree with everything that Senator Van Dyke had to say when he chose to speak. But I did want to highlight the comment that he did point out from Senator Thompson when he said that it's not illegal to flirt. I was unable to attend Senate last week because I couldn't get out of work, so I had to watch it back, and it made me extremely uncomfortable, not just as a senator, but as a student who has utilized Title IX and CAP services and the care team services on campus. To hear those words come out of another senator's mouth, especially someone who's being attempted to be put into a position of power, that makes me extremely uncomfortable. And while this is not an attack on his character, I think it would be negligible of us to put someone into a higher position of power within these chambers who felt it was okay to say that. And I think the same of anyone who had anything high to say of the speaker that was elected, then promptly pulled out of that position, especially for people that might have known that person longer and known more about their character that has not changed from the time that they have done certain actions. So I think the best act for this body to do would be to elect Senator Howard into this position. And I really hope that you all can agree with me on that.
Thank you, Senator Pattison or Senator Madden.
Hello, I would just like to start with saying that I think that we have 3 really amazing candidates and we can't really make a wrong decision. But with that, I will be speaking in affirmation for Senator Thompson. For me, what really hit home was his speech and things that we have talked about in the past weeks when it comes to electing a speaker, as well as bringing someone into that leadership position. He talked about we, not me. And I just can't imagine a more serving person who's willing to do the hard work and put in the dedication. I feel like he really hit home in his speech how he's any role that he's going to step up into, he will be dedicated to. And I feel like not only us as a body, but the student body as a whole deserves a leader that is going to put forth that kind of dedication. And I feel like for some past statements, I feel like it's unrealistic to have complete newness. I feel like we're always going to have people that have already been involved in other things, and that's perfectly okay, because even though experience is not the end all be all, I feel like it does matter, especially in a role such as a speaker. And when it comes to like the freshness and having a fresh set of eyes, I truly believe that anyone that steps into this new role will have a new perspective for it because they haven't held that position before. And I can't say that I know a single person better for stepping up into a leadership position than Jay. I don't personally know Jay very well. I only know him really within the confines of Senate, as well as last session on the executive in the executive branch. But the work that Jay put forth and just the dedication that he put forth into SGA, I just saw the passion glowing from within him. And I really feel like he would make an amazing speaker. But another point that I want to touch on as well, just really quick, is I feel like transparency matters. And in his speech, he was very transparent about who he was and things that he's overcome and things that he's done. And I feel like being transparent is a huge part of leadership, and transparency would have been very nice, obviously, in lieu of last week. And that's an aspect that we should all take into consideration of how transparent will our leadership structure be moving forward.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in debate at this time? Senator Van Dyke.
Yes, I just really want to hype up one more time that I do not believe that experience is the end all be all to a position. Each and every year within the student government, we have people who get elected for positions such as presidency, for getting elected as positions such as treasurer, whatever the case might be, outside of SGA, inside of SGA, whatever. Yet their characteristics, their personality, their ability speaks 10 times louder. It speaks more volume than their experience does. This is not to brag, and people can have their own opinions, but I'm coming at the end of my undergraduate career, about to transition into my master's. So I will take a second to brag about myself because I had no experience as speaker. I had no experience within the Senate, the realm of Senate, prior to becoming speaker, yet I feel like we overcame, we made it through, and I was a part of that to help getting the 65th session through, especially with rapid transitions. Again, you can have your own personal opinions or whatever the case might be, yet I feel like I did it in a successful manner, and that came with no experience, from being in Senate. And I think the same can be true for Senator Howard if she is to be elected for the speakership. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in debate at this time? Seeing none. The debate of the nominees is now over. At this time, all nominees for speaker are invited back in the participation to vote. Advisor McLean, please invite all the senators back to the chambers.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. The chair hereby appoints Advisor Fonseca and Advisor McLean as the tellers. They will take the official tally of votes. Madam Clerk, please conduct a roll call.
Clerk Malone, before you start, I did turn on the unmute, you can unmute yourself now. So when your name is called, you'll have to unmute yourself to cast your vote. And then when we're done, I'm going to turn the mute thing back off.
Are we ready?
Yep.
Okay, when I call your name, please respond with the person that you are voting for or abstaining. Or you can pass and we will return to you whenever we get to the end. Senator Albury. Senator Ahrens.
Senator Howard.
Senator Atkinson.
Senator Owens.
Senator Banuelos.
Senator Owens.
Senator Berry. Senator Bobbitt.
Abstain.
Senator Boydo. Senator Brown.
Senator Howard.
Senator Cole. Senator Eden.
Senator Thompson.
Senator Escobedo.
Senator Howard.
Senator Fleer.
Senator Howard.
Senator Harris.
Pass. I need more time.
Senator Hatch.
Senator Howard, sorry.
Senator Haynes.
Senator Howard.
Senator Hollis.
Senator Howard.
Senator Holloway. Senator Howard.
Senator Howard.
Senator A.J. Jones. Senator Kirk.
Senator Howard.
Senator Knight.
Senator Howard.
Senator Kuntz. Senator Lamb. Senator Madden.
Senator Thompson.
Senator Malu. Senator Mallard.
Senator Thompson.
Senator Matthews.
Senator Thompson.
Senator Menzies. Senator Manette. Senator Adriana Owens.
Senator Owens.
Senator Victoria Owens.
Senator Owens.
Senator Patterson.
Senator Thompson.
Senator Palmetto.
Senator Owens.
Senator Peng.
Senator Owens.
Senator Perdue. Senator Fan.
Senator Howard.
Senator Rahim. Senator Sinivaratana. Senator Srinivasan.
Senator Howard.
Senator Swope. Senator Thayer.
Senator Howard.
Senator Thompson.
Senator Howard.
Senator Thornton. Senator Van Dyke.
Senator Kylie Howard.
Senator Webb.
Senator Howard.
And Senator Denasia Williams. Okay, Senator Harris.
Senator Howard.
Okay. The voting period is now over. The Senate shall call recess for 5 minutes for the tellers to confirm their tallies.
Brandon, I'm gonna call you on your cell phone. Sophie, I'm gonna call you on your office phone. Will you answer that in a second? Nora, will you go down the hall to her office? Does anyone remember what time we started recess?
Longer than 5 minutes ago, I will
Okay,
take.
we are ready now, President Martins. Thank you, Senator Van Dyke.
We will now have the tellers read the results.
With the voting period now over, the tellers agree that the counts: Thompson 5, Howard 17, Victoria Owens 6, and the Speaker of the Student Senate shall be Senator Howard. Congratulations.
Sorry, my computer fell asleep. With the voting period now over, the tellers agree on their counts, and Senator Howard is now Speaker Howard. Congratulations. Therefore, without objection, forced by the conclusion of the election, the Senate adopts Senate Resolution 66-002, election of the Speaker of the Senate. Congratulations. We will now move into swearing in of the speaker. I know this is not on the agenda, but we will kind of add it in. So, Senator Howard, if you could please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name, hereby swear
I, Kylie Howard, hereby swear
that I will faithfully serve the students of Wichita State University,
that I will faithfully serve the students of Wichita State University,
act in accordance with the Constitution of the student body,
act in accordance with the Constitution of the student body,
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities required of the office of Speaker of the Student Senate.
and fulfill all duties and responsibilities required of the office of Speaker of the Student Senate.
I will, to the best of my ability,
I will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the student body of Wichita State University.
the Constitution of the student body of the Wichita State University, excuse me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We will now move into Section 9, adjournment. The Student Government Association Senate will dissolve into the Legislative Council for summer session and will stand in adjournment until Wednesday, August 23rd at 6:30 p.m. Yay, have a good summer.
Kylie, can you stay behind? Unless you already left. Yep, she already left. All right, Brandon, you got it.